So I've just bought this. It's a Hyundai Ioniq electric 38 kilowatt hour and it's a premium SE. And regular viewers of the channel will probably know that my Tesla Model S is rather damaged at the moment, so I've just bought this to run around in until the Tesla is sorted out, and there will be a update video coming on that subject next week. So many of you will also know that I also already run one of these. My partner drives it and it's exactly the same car, a premium SE 38 kilowatt hour. And actually I wasn't particularly looking to buy another one the same. I fancied a change. I was looking for a Peugeot E208 or a Corsa actually, but when you start looking at the current prices in the current market, these are looking such good value now. And you can pick one of these up for sort of Corsa and E208 prices, but with these you've got more equipment, more luxuries, more space, more range, better efficiency. They just do everything better. So while I've had Ioniqs now for 4 years, yeah, nothing else. When you're looking at the lower prices, bottom end of the market in EVs, nothing else comes close to a Hyundai Ioniq, to be honest. Either the 38 kilowatt hour like this or the 28 kilowatt hour. But the point of this video is to say I'm going to run a few tests on this, because now we've got two Ioniqs, exactly the same cars. I'm going to do some tests with the Bluelink system, because I've never used the Bluelink system that you get on these cars, because obviously the previous generation 28 kilowatt hour didn't come with a Bluelink or an app. And when we got the 38, we didn't bother with the Bluelink system, because you know, what you don't have you don't miss. And with these cars there are known to be 12 volt draining issues, and I have a feeling it is the Bluelink and also the SOS system which causes that, because the previous generation 28 kilowatt hour cars don't have either of those, and they don't suffer the same sort of problems. So now we've got two cars identical and I'm better equipped for dealing with 12 volt battery issues. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the Bluelink system and install the app and monitor the 12 volt battery to see whether this car suffers more battery drain than the other car without the Bluelink enabled. And to do that, I've bought another one of these devices, the Bluetooth battery monitor, which I'm about to install on the 12 volt battery there. And these are brilliant devices. I think everyone should have one of these on their car. Well, particularly if you've got a car that's known to have 12 volt battery issues, or you've got a modern car which has got a lot of telematics. And particularly if you don't do many miles, if you're an infrequent driver and your car's sat for many days, then these things are just well worth it. Because it's the low mileage, low use cars which will suffer 12 volt battery issues more than cars that are in regular use. So I've done a separate video explaining what this device is, which I'll put a link to in the top of the screen and in the video notes below. But these are only about £21 on Amazon and very easy to fit. You just connect it up to your battery terminals. And what they do is they track your 12 volt battery voltage, and with a little app on your phone, when the 12 volt battery gets low, you get a notification on your mobile. So if your battery is draining, hopefully it will notify you on your phone before it's an issue, and before you get in your car in the morning and find your 12 volt battery is completely flat and you're unable to charge. So it just gives you that advance notice. So for the small price these things are, just well worth it. So I'm going to fit this to this battery and then monitor the 12 volt battery over the next few weeks or months and see whether the battery drain is any worse on this car with the Bluelink app enabled versus our other car where we don't have the Bluelink app. And then in a month or two I'll do another video and update you all, but I have a sneaky suspicion that the Bluelink app is the cause of the issues. However, many of you may know there is a new recall on these cars, the 38 kilowatt hour Ioniqs, and that's to do with the SOS system up here. And I'm not sure whether they're replacing these or just upgrading the firmware in the ECU, but I'm led to believe it is also to do with the 12 volt battery draining issue. So I don't know any more about it. We haven't had the recall done yet on either of our Ioniqs, haven't been notified. But I'm in no particular rush to get that done, because we're not having the issues on our other one, and on this one I'm going to be doing a bit of monitoring. But maybe finally Hyundai have found the issue of the problem, and maybe it is the SOS system. But anyway, either way, I'm going to enable the Bluelink on this car, set up the app, and then monitor it and monitor the 12 volt battery, and hopefully I'll come up with some conclusion in a month or two's time. So anyway, I'll update you then, but in the meantime I've just got this car in. As I said, I've just done a navigation software update because a new update has come down this month. It's now middle of June, so from early June there's a new navigation update which allows it to do better tracking, navigation to EV charging stations apparently. Most people probably use Google Maps or Apple CarPlay anyway. But anyway, I've installed that. It took a ridiculous amount of time. It took 3 or 4 hours to download. I ended up letting it download on the computer overnight, and then when I installed the USB drive in here, it took well over an hour to install. But anyway, that's installed. I haven't really noticed anything different with the rest of it. Everything else looks very similar. I think it is just navigation updates and EV charging point updates. But anyway, I've also regassed the air conditioning. It turned out I didn't need it, but I thought I'd do that anyway because air conditioning is absolutely vital at the moment with the temperatures we're seeing. I've also just replaced the front tyres because it had some cheap nasty Chinese budget tyres on, so I've put the Michelin Energy tyres on that we took off the other Ioniq because we put all seasons on there, so had them in anyway. So they now match the original factory ones on the back, so that's all good. I'm going to fit the battery monitor. I've done a quick service as well, not that it was needed, but just make sure this car is all good for me. So I'm going to be driving this from now on, so maybe you'll see more Ioniq videos on the channel in the future, because the other one I never get to drive it. So even though I drove the 28 kilowatt hour for 2 years or so, the 38s I've got very little experience of them actually. So I suspect there'll be more videos on this coming on the channel soon. One final thing actually, I've just remembered, the coolant. So many of you will probably know that there is a current coolant recall on these cars where they're changing the coolant in the 38 kilowatt hour Ioniqs because this has a tendency to sort of sludge up or crystallize in the battery pack, so they're flushing it all out and changing the coolant to a different type. So I suspect this car hasn't been done yet. I've got to contact the local Hyundai dealership and get them to look it up, because looking in the service history, the last service was done at an independent garage, so I suspect I've got to get that done as well. Okie doke, that's it. As always, hit the thumbs up if you found it useful. Probably not. This is really just a notification video to say I'm going to start monitoring the 12 volt battery issues, and I'll let you know in the future. Okie doke, I'll see you on the next video.